Hello, folks. So, last time we left off, we were putting this piece down. So, I finished putting down all the hardy board for the floor. Of course, I had finished the shower. And now it's time for preparing for tiles. After securing all the hardy board down with the screws, then we go down with tape, all the joints, and then we put thin set over the joints like spackle. And did that to all of these guys. I used these weights to hold this guy down while these two edges set, and to make sure that he's not flexing when you step on it. And of course I did all of this up here. So any place where there's a hole. So I'm going to go back with another coat and cover everything pretty much again to fill in these holes in the corners and between the joints. Focusing especially on anywhere where water can collect, like in here. Definitely got to secure this tape down up here in the niche. And and then later on I'll go back and hit the wallboard corners with regular spackle and feather those in, and so we can paint. Of course, I gotta fill in those holes up there. So I'm preparing to mix some thin set, adding water to a bag, 50-pound bag. I'm just going to start with 5 pounds just as an experiment, see how long it goes in the case of just filling in the tape corners. And then after I get all the tape done with the second coat, then I'll prepare to pour the mortar bin here, or basin. So I'll be using strips of wood, hot glued to the edge to provide a screed level, just like I did. I created a screed level when I did the mortar underneath this liner, but I'll be doing it again here. Of course, I can't nail into there because there's liner behind that, so I'll just hot glue strips of wood at the right level to achieve a 1/4 per foot slope toward the drain. And then I'll make some variable length screed sticks that will run along the wall and along the top of this drain that's set here at the right height. And I'll screed in the mortar going from there to along the edge as that level changes based on the required slope. Also going to put in some gravel to prevent the mortar from filling those 4 holes, those weeper holes. And then there's little depressions in the bottom of the flange that need to be fairly exposed. I'll just say exposed. We just don't want to pack those with mortar. The mortar can kind of go up to the white, but we don't want the mortar to fill in those holes, because that's where water will drain if water gets under the tile and leaks through the concrete, which it would do eventually, because the concrete will tend to absorb water. And then eventually it's designed to drain out the pan, so through these weep holes. So they have to be left open. Anyway, so that'll be the procedure for today. Hopefully I can get this mortared today. See ya! folks, I'm almost ready to pour the tray for the shower, the pan for the shower. So based on the 3.5 bags plus of mortar that I have, I decided to raise this up about this high. I think I'll be able to cover it with 3.5 bags. These are 80-pound bags. Based on the fact that a little over one bag did what's under the liner. But so I've laid out these sticks, and I fastened them to the walls with hot glue so that I can pry them off easily. The bottoms of all of these sticks are above the level of the pan, and that is determined by these height sticks that I made. This is an idea that I got from Tile Coach, an online resource channel that is excellent. So I made these sticks, and they are in 4-inch increments, 4 inches being the width of this top here. The idea being you take this stick, you've got a 4-inch channel there and a cutout here. So you basically lay that on there, and then this swings over. And so I can screed with this basically from that corner to here, all the way over until this hits the other end, which in this case it won't hit. So I can use this stick to screed the mortar all the way into this corner. And the sticks along the wall are at a height such that the level that's level, and we are clearly not on the stick. So with the top and bottom of the stick being parallel, this surface right here will be the surface of the pan. So I have various lengths of these that will come into play as I go around the whole pan. These range in length from the little guy, which reaches across there, and the longest guy will go to the far corners. And for all of these, if I put the level on them, the middle of the bubble is about the left line, and based on my calibration, that is approximately a 1/4 inch per foot, which is the intended slope of the mortar and thus the tile for the shower pan. So as long as all of these sticks, wherever they lay across the drain to the wall sticks, as long as that level is about this high or this sloped, then everything drains to the drain. And that's the whole point. So you see the bottom of this piece of wood is below the bottom of these sticks. Again, that's going to be the height, that's going to be the level of the mortar and the pan. Once that cures for a couple days, then I can use this Hydroban. Oh, I don't have it here. The Hydroban liquid membrane, and put a couple of coats, and I'll just basically start from the bottom and work my way up. Certainly this tray, the stoop, and the seat will definitely get, I've got a gallon, it's $100 a gallon, it's not cheap, but I'll do the seat and the tray and the threshold first, and if I have any left over, Then I'll hit the niche, and then I can just go up the walls and just use it up. I can also use it up out here. This is about the lowest point of the floor. So if the bathtub floods, water comes down here, at least it has a chance to pool, because that membrane makes whatever it's coating, if it's coated properly, to completely waterproof, as long as there's no cracks in it. So that's the plan. Again, belt and suspenders. Certainly this mortar job over the tape, tile, and grout would make this at least temporarily waterproof if there was a leak. As long as water didn't go down those two holes and these two holes, then the rest of the system would hold water for a little bit, give you a chance to go get a towel. But obviously the shower needs to be permanently waterproof. Yeah, so that's the deal. I'll try and start doing the mortar. All right, there is a shower pan poured and spread. Seems like it worked. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but I think it'll turn out all right. By the way, the second batch of concrete lasted this long. Wow. That was, first batch was about 70 pounds. Second batch was probably, 45. So I used a little more than a bag, bag and a half maybe. No, a little more than a bag. And about as much as I used before, which kind of surprises me. But, so I've got 2 extra bags. If I have the receipt, I'll take them back. Anyway, I'll let that cure for a couple days. Okay, folks, so first coat of Hydraband down. So I've done the little niche and the seat and all around the basin. I still have yet, I'm going to put a little bit of thin set around there to raise the level at the drain just a little bit so that I'm confident when I put the tile in with a V-notch trowel that it'll be just proud of the drain. So I want to finish prepping that. I can do that when I do the thin set for the this body of tile right here is loose. So I've already cut these and got them ready to thin set down. And I'll be preparing more of these. I basically want to come out to here before I start putting more thin set down, just so that I can use up all the thin set that I mix. I tend to be mixing a little more than I need. And then I'll come back. Actually, I'm going to put a second coat on here before I do that, because in the off chance that I feel like doing more tile in this area, I don't want to box myself in so that I can't put a third coat. I think I'm going to need to put a third coat on just to use up the bucket. The Hydraband is supposed to only cover 100 square feet, and that just means that you're putting it on with multiple layers. You're putting it on super thick so that it's completely opaque, because it is supposed to be a waterproof membrane. And by definition, I should not, if I do this with a different drain style that is meant for this kind of membrane, then I wouldn't need the liner underneath. But I'm just doing a belt and suspenders. I got a liner, mortar, and backer board with minimal fastener penetrations, and thin set taped, and then also with the liquid membrane. So I'm also just trying to get more liquid membrane down along the border of the mortar. This is supposed to expand and contract as needed and not crack the tile. That's why we'll be using, instead of grouting along all the 90-degree things, but when I'm ready to grout, I'll basically be caulking the 90-degree corners first, the concave 90-degree corners, and then grouting around the caulk. So that way all these joints can expand and contract without cracking the grout. Anyway, I know I'm just going overkill on this, but I'm really paranoid of this thing leaking. So, and I don't want it to ever leak. Anyway, we'll catch you later.